Cowboy Shit.
Hey friends, my name is Ted Stoven. This is Cowboy Shit, and it's episode 212. He is James Foley, and we've got a few things to talk about today, James.
Oh, yeah, big news. Big news coming down the track.
Well, I guess is it still news if it happened like 10 days ago?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's people that listen that live under rocks.
Okay. All right. For those of you that live under rocks. Uh, but
Yeah.
this but we did some research this morning, James, and nice Yeti, by the way. Nice cup.
Thanks.
Um,
Thanks.
we're pretty sure, based on our expert analysis, that Jake Gardner is the first Canadian bull rider to ever win Rodeo Houston. Yeah.
Claps, claps, claps.
Yeah.
Badass.
Yeah. So there's been a number of Canadians win other events. Look, I don't think we've ever had a Canadian win in the tie down roping, and it doesn't look like I didn't look super hard or pay much attention. We've had Jeremy Bueller and I forget. I think Ren Richard won the team roping in 2023. Had lots of Canadian bronc riders win over the years. Look back and we saw Ivan Danes on that list. Skeeter Thurston, Zeke's dad. Zeke won it in 2015. Clay Elliott won it in 2016. Jake Vold won the bareback riding. I believe that was 2017. Lindsay Sears, her address was Ropesville, Texas at the time, but I think she won in '09. Rod Hay won in 2010. No, Lindsay won in 2012. Sorry. Anyways, huge for Jake. He's number one man in the PRCA world standings in the bull riding. Just missed the NFR. Wasn't was it last year or the year before?
Two years ago.
2 years ago, right? Yeah.
16th or 17th he finished?
He was so close.
Yeah.
So close. So good for yeah, unreal for Jake to win Houston, like yeah, pumped. Pumped for that guy.
And I think he was on the alternate list at the beginning, was he not?
Yeah, I was talking to somebody about it yesterday. I don't even remember who now, but they said that he was or no, yeah, I was at Jones Boys in Pinoca, and I think it was Kelly McLeod said that because she's from up that way. I think they lived in Fort St. John. They definitely lived in Fort St. John for a while, but Daryl Mills had posted about Jake winning, and she had seen that and obviously saw the news. But she said he got a call like super last minute, and he got on a plane, flew down there, went and made enough in the Super Series to get back to the finals, and I think he came back to Lethbridge not long
Yeah.
after. So yeah, but guy's been grinding it out, making an effort to make the NFR, and man, he's sure got a boost to get there this year. He's got to probably win, probably gonna win that much more still, but I mean, that's a huge like pressure off a guy's back. I think to get that 70,000 in the bank in friggin' March.
How many times do you think he's gone on the PRCA website and opened up the bull riding standings?
Oh man. I don't.
I'll tell you right now, if it was me, that'd be my screensaver right now.
That'd be your screensaver, number
Just
one.
number one in the world.
Isn't that
Your
sweet?
face. That is 75 G's. 75 G's American.
Yeah.
What's that, like
Jeez.
100 and like 110, 100 and something Canadian?
Oh yes, 100 and
And
something.
it's March.
Yeah, isn't that sweet?
Like, yeah, he's got a big opportunity to make it. We were talking to him the other day, and he just said he's like, I'm gonna hit up some rodeos and see if I can't make a push. And then a week later, he wins Houston. So yeah, we're pumped for Jake, man. Well, I want to
Absolutely.
see that. I want to see that guy run wild in Vegas.
Man, and when I say run wild, I want to see him. When I say run wild, I want to see him go and win a bunch of money in Vegas.
Yeah.
I know he's going to have a lot of fun when he wins a lot of money in Vegas.
Yeah, you know what? I think Jake just making the NFR. He's a one of a kind guy, man.
Oh yeah.
I think he wears his heart on his sleeve and he shoots from the hip. Um, he's always, helping out and shit at events and stuff like that. And, I think he's a great role model for a lot of these kids coming up. And Jake's performance in Houston just kind of showed that the guy's got no quit and he just wants to make the whistle.
I didn't get to watch it, James. I just saw the news that he won. But what's the story about the four rerides? I wasn't watching.
I didn't watch all of them, but yeah, four rerides to get on the last one, and then I
No
believe
way.
Stetson. I think Stetson had to ride after him.
Oh really? And then Stetson
Yeah,
didn't end up staying on.
yeah, and bucked off.
No way.
I believe so, yeah.
Huh.
But like good for Jake, man.
Perseverance.
Yeah.
So congrats, Jake Gardner. We uh we want to see out them yellow shoots in December. So keep
Yeah.
her rolling.
Keep it
Keep her
rolling,
rolling.
man. Good start. Good
We
start. Number one in the world.
we might I don't know. I'm a little nervous now. I was looking forward to seeing him all season at the PBR Canada events, but now I'm wondering if we're going to we might not see him as much. He's a big pro rodeo cowboy making the NFR. I don't know.
I think
Speculation. I think he'll still come to enough to make the finals in Edmonton.
yeah, I think so too.
Just
Depending.
might
And
not
I
see him in as
don't
many.
yeah. Yeah, and I don't know, like I think depending on where he's sitting in the world going into the NFR, if he shows up in Edmonton, I think is kind of a business decision for him with his health and stuff like that. Like he's good. It's a long 6 months, so
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's there's no guarantees in this sport, so I don't know. I wish him the best. I gotta say it's not easy to go out and go be one of the top guys in the world. To go and test yourself against those guys and go and he's got to get on a plane by himself, probably last minute spend who knows how much to get to Houston. I know the flights can be a lot sometimes. Maybe they're not always super high, but I mean, you got to spend a bunch of money. You're probably in Fort St. John, so you got to drive all the way to Calgary. It's like 8 hours one way. Get to Calgary, get on the plane, go to Houston. You're by yourself. Got to buy a room. You're by yourself. Like it's a lonely ass road out there when you're by yourself, man.
yeah, and like I think a lot of people too, like our American listeners, Google map Fort St. John and look at where that place is. And
Yeah,
then, you know what I mean?
look at
Like
where it is.
people, I think a lot of people don't understand kind of the layout of Canada and how far these guys have to travel to go to
Yeah,
certain certain places. It ain't like America where you can just get on a plane in your town and fly wherever the hell you want for 69.99. Like we have to drive and you know what I mean, our flights you can only land in major cities pretty much in Canada. You're
yeah.
pooched outside of that. Our travel sucks.
It definitely can. It definitely
Yeah.
can. Um,
Yeah.
man, what else we got on the go here?
We got some
Tickle the
news coming out
toes.
of Calgary Stampede.
Oh yeah, yeah. So the Calgary Stampede's got a master plan for what is it like 20-year plan? Is it James?
Yeah, I
Something
think it
long
was
term.
long term, gonna do a little addition.
Yeah, they're gonna do. Well, they're kind of rebuilding the whole infield. It looks like they're doing some new suites this year, which is a new big addition. And then looking at, I heard rumblings. I don't know how much truth there is to it, but rumblings of replacing McMahon Stadium with the infield of the Calgary Stampede, which I don't know if that's the truth and all that. I guess I'll have to um, ask into that a little further. But how cool would it be to have like the Calgary Stampede grounds be the friggin' home of the football team? Wouldn't that be
I think
neat?
that would be bad. Is there anywhere in the world that has that? Like
Yeah, Houston.
there's all
It's called Rodeo
yeah, but
Houston.
yeah, but that's a NRG or whatever stadium, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
has there been like a specific rodeo facility that turns into a football field? I don't
yeah.
think so.
Rodeo Houston.
No, Rodeo
I'm
Houston is
I'm
NRG.
I'm
Isn't
fucking
that
with you, but I'm not fucking with you because Rodeo Houston. And I think that I learned this talking to the Calgary Stampede CEO last year, Joel Cowley, because he was the former CEO in Houston. Rodeo Houston is the main tenant in Energy Stadium. They have
no
that venue
way.
for 30 days. The football team's only there for 12 days a year, maybe less.
Right. No, probably
Rodeo
less.
Houston is the main tenant at that stadium. It's basically their stadium. Like on the side of the seats, there's a Houston Texans logo, but there's also a Rodeo Houston logo.
Fuck, that's crazy.
Yeah, so
Well, I guess follow suit. Why not?
yeah,
Yeah,
kind of
do it.
kind of wild, but like I mean, the funny thing with Calgary Stampede, like if that is to go that way, it'd be pretty damn cool to just roll up the turf after the rodeo because
Yeah.
like the season is after the Stampede and they don't really use that infield much after the rodeo. So you
No.
multi-use that arena, you get all that space back at McMahon when they demo that building. Like I think it totally makes sense. It's kind of ridiculous and it might be totally unfounded, but if they actually do that and build a really fancy um, big infield grandstand, They could totally
Yeah,
have football games there.
why not?
You just roll the turf out after the rodeo. Boom. I don't know what they'll do for
Yeah,
dressing rooms. They'll have to build those into the like uh under the infield
uh,
grandstand, I think, but why the hell not? I think it's badass.
it is badass actually.
They're
And
looking
you
at
know what I mean? Put the Stampeders at Stampede Park
yeah,
like
that makes
that.
sense too, doesn't it?
You know, like everything kind of flows with it. The new arena that they're building and everything else. I
True.
think, yeah, I think it'd be cool. It'd be, um, another way for them to make that area because outside of the Stampede, obviously they have like shows going on in the buildings and shit, but
But not a lot at that rodeo arena though,
no, or the racetrack, right? I don't
right?
believe, I don't think they have horse racing there, do they?
Not anymore, no.
Yeah, everything's at Century Downs, so.
Which that wouldn't I don't think the horse racing would work super well um over top the turf of the infield of the football stadium if that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
That might be tricky. Don't
Yeah,
know.
it'll be cool. I hope they do it or it works out or whatever. I think it'd
Yeah,
be badass for
be pretty
them to
wild.
kind of use it
They're building
multiple
a
different ways.
they're building a outdoor amphitheater too on Park. It looks like, and what else? The going to replace the Big Four with a new venue, and there was something else as well. Oh, new egg building. They're going to get
Oh
rid of the
yeah,
old egg barns, which have been there for like they're like 100 years old. That building, so going to redo that building and make a new egg building. So lots of cool stuff happening.
big money.
But talking big money, James, they got to get back to that
Yep.
100,000. I know that on the last year's show, talking to Stampede CEO, I didn't push him too much, and I kind of softballed it out there. But having thought about it a lot more, and if I ever get to interview Joel again, I'm going to push him on this because there's a reason why the Calgary Stampede is and can claim that they're the greatest outdoor show on earth. But if they're not continuing to push and elevate the sport and do new innovative things that are building the sport and enticing the top athletes to be there. If there's no reason for the top of the world to be there, if they're only going to pay this 50,000, the same they paid in 1980 something, I'm sorry, but you got to elevate. There was talks years before where they were looking at going past 100,000. And yeah, the rounds got to, like the rounds should pay good, but nobody knows what the fuck a round pays at the American. Nobody knows what a round pays in the PBR. Nobody
Yep.
knows what a round pays in Houston or Cheyenne, the NFR kind of, but the number people look at is the big number at the end of the week. And the Cowboys, the athletes, the media, everyone looks at that big number at the end of the week. Nobody gives a shit what the rounds pay. I know that
No.
they might be important in some standings. Yeah, sure. At the end of the week, you go home with a certain amount of money. But that 100 grand, like you could take the money out of the rounds and put it in the $100,000 check, and people would probably applaud, and nothing would have changed. But you would have just gave that big check to the last guy at the end of the weekend.
What
Honestly,
what is what is Pinoca paying now?
I think that they're 45,000 added. Um, 45,000 is added money, but then a lot of that money ends up in the showdown round, which like last year it wasn't it Hayes Weight?
That won the bull ride? It
Yeah,
was
didn't he win like
90,000 added last year.
because
Because I think there was a carryover.
they took the showdown money and put it in there.
Yeah, and I think Nansen told me this year it's 75,000, I thought was in the bull riding at Pinoca.
Oh, really? Okay.
I could be wrong.
Well, let me just look it
Don't
up.
take me to court, but
Just riff for a while. I'll
yeah.
find it out.
Well, I agree with you 100%. I think there's so many different rodeos that are doing so many different things and like the Hondu C5's deal in San Diego at the park. There's just becoming more and more of these like high-end rodeos that are paying big money and it makes a person wonder if, there's somebody in the States right now working on something that goes over Calgary and then gives them a little push at what they're doing. Money talks. right? At the end of the day, you're going to get the top cowboys in every sport to show up if there's a lot of money. And if you're not the biggest paying event at that time, they're not going to show up. So
Nope.
yeah, I don't understand how everything's gone up except for their money. Obviously, they have a reason that they're not at 100,000, but I definitely think they should bring back the 100,000.
Absolutely, man. I think it's part of the marketing of it too, where like you got to have that big prize. Like that was part of the allure was the $100,000 check at the end of the week, right? Like it's part of its marketing and innovation. The Calgary was the first one to have that $100,000 check, but now they've been passed by I don't know how many shows, right? Like the
Yeah.
Hondo's doing it, the Americans doing it. How many places have that? How many places have that kind of big check now? They're losing ground.
Well,
They're going
Cheyenne's doing it.
backwards.
Yeah, Cheyenne's doing a different layout this year too.
A
I thought I
different
read
format. Yeah, they are.
a
Yep.
different format. So,
I don't recall what the
um,
end of the week number was there, but
yeah, me either. But like, everybody's changing. Everybody's changing maybe formats, but they're adding more money.
yeah. And I'm not saying Calgary's not adding more money. I think they have got back up there with, it cost them 300,000 to put it cost them 300,000 to put the breakaway into the perf, right? Like I get that. So that extra money that would have went to the making it 100,000 again went to the breakaway roping, right? And then they
Right.
have the team roping event, which is part of the PRCA approval. So I get that you're still doing a lot, 100%. I'm not denying that. Calgary Stampede is still one of the greatest rodeos in the world. It's still one of the greatest outdoor shows on earth. But if you're gonna claim that, you're gonna have to back it up and start doing some really cool extra stuff now. Like, yeah, you're paying out 50,000, but if Houston opens their roof, what's leaving them from saying they're the greatest outdoor show on earth?
Yeah.
They're paying more money. They got bigger concerts. They got a longer show. They got 80,000 people a night. Why isn't Houston the greatest outdoor show on earth if they open up the roof of NRG Stadium?
Yeah, 20 days, isn't it?
It's like I think it's 21 days.
21 days. Like, yeah, and their concerts are
Oh,
ridiculous. Their
well,
lineup?
if you're talking specifics now, if you want to get into that a little bit, the rodeo is a pre-show for the concerts in Houston.
Yeah.
Rodeo Houston has 21 days of really unreal concert lineups and a huge midway and a huge cattle show. And the rodeo is the precursor to the concerts.
Hey, how
During the
about
during the Serpentine opening, there's about 50 people in the grandstand, and during the tie down roping, there's like maybe I don't know, like it's a huge stadium, so there's probably still more than the average rodeo, but it's basically like the walk-in preamble for the concert.
for the concert? Yeah, and how about
Like,
the
and it's
news?
great. It's huge for the numbers, but sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, how about the news coming out of Houston that they had to put a dress code in effect for too many cheeks?
Was it? Was
Yeah,
that what the
Daisy
problem
Dukes,
was?
Daisy Dukes.
Man, I think we got bigger problems in the world than having too many Daisy Duke shorts around. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I agree. Like,
There's
yeah, I
really
mean, I
a
think within respect to other people. Um, yeah, I think you know what I mean. Not probably set a high number. I'd say maybe 70% of the people that go to that rodeo are there because they're going to the concert afterwards.
I I don't know what the number is,
So
folks,
it's
but
probably high.
yeah, I think you're right. And then plus they got the barrel racing, the bronc riding to the bull riding gets a lot of people there because they're almost ready for showtime for the concert.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
And I'm not
Calgary,
knocking
bring
Houston
back the
either.
100.
Yeah,
I'm
bring
not
back the
knocking
100.
Houston. Yeah.
No, but like I don't know, it might not be very very much longer till Cheyenne's paying 50,000. Then how do you elevate Calgary? And I live here, and I like a lot of things about the Calgary Stampede. I been to that show a lot now, and it's basically my hometown rodeo that I don't end up doing a whole lot of stuff directly at. I do a lot of work with with a couple different brands there now as well in different capacity. But um, yeah, I just think that there's got to be some respect there and some thought about the big number at the end of the week is super important. And I
Yeah.
think they've lost a little sight of that right the last little while.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Got to bring back this. It's all about nostalgia, right? Money
Absolutely, yeah,
talks.
definitely.
Get back to the 100 G's and
It's kind of
you know,
goodwill for the Cowboys too, right? Like
yeah, and they
just
got
the
everything else figured out, man. Their concert lineup last year, I heard the crowds were absolutely ridiculous, like massive, way bigger than what they anticipated.
oh yeah,
You already got that. You got the people coming in. You know, you've done everything. Let's get it back to 100 G's and then make it back to the greatest outdoor show on earth.
yeah. I think they're a little bit lost on that line right now, unless they're gonna change it. I just don't know. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think you really, really got to get back to the 100,000. Got to
Yeah.
do everything it's going to take to do that. Or you're gonna. I think you might start losing some of those top guys. A lot of them are still coming. They might complain about it. I know Shad Mayfield mentioned last year that his dad won it in the '80s and it paid 50,000, and he wins it 40 years later and it still pays the same. So that's tough. That's a tough look, but he's still there. So he's not protesting by not showing up, and it's still one of the biggest checks in the country. So I get the argument on the one side, but if you're going to call yourself the greatest outdoor show, there's a lot that goes into that. But um, it's tough for Houston paid 50,000 forever. Now they're paying 65. I mean, yeah, I just think you're losing some goodwill with your Cowboys, and it almost seems disrespectful to not have it be back to 100,000 after the COVID years.
Yeah. Everybody's doing good now.
Well,
We got a hundred
yeah.
barrel, $100 a barrel oil.
I should help in Calgary actually. It's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would actually
That
be enough to make it 100,000. That would we could be 150,000 with 100
100.
$120 barrel oil.
Yeah, so yeah, I agree 100%. We just need to get her back to 100,000.
Yeah.
I don't think going above that is like, something that they need to do. I think $100,000 is a badass payday for these guys. They're the best in the
Oh
world
yeah.
and they're showing up, I'll be 100% honest. If I was an American, traveling into Canada sucks. It does. Crossing the border sucks ass. If you have live animals, it sucks. If you're a Canadian coming across, 90% of the time it sucks. So,
Crossing the border is
yeah,
no fun.
there's definitely different ways that these guys could not come up here because it
True.
is a hassle.
True. Um Okay, last thing this week, Country Music Alberta Awards. Just want to say thanks to the crew up there for inviting me up there, be part of it, part of the mentor sessions and some of the roundtable discussions. It was a lot of fun on Saturday. Went to the award show on Sunday. Great job to the crew there on the awards. It's kind of a. I was telling somebody this morning. It's kind of a industry that I would say that we are adjacent to, like country music in Alberta. There's a lot of concerts that go on at our shows, at the rodeos. Like there's a lot of country music at the rodeos, and I like being able to play our Canadian artists at the Canadian rodeos. I think it's important to feature our talent and our people at those shows, and it was cool to see a lot of folks honored. So, former guests of the show, and Nolene Hoffman, Morgan Kleiber, Devin Cooper, Julia Voss, all award winners at the Country Music Alberta Awards that are former guests of the show. So neat to see that many different people all be recognized at the top of their field. And
Yeah, so if you're an
yeah,
artist, get a hold of Teddy, get on Cowboy Shit, and we'll help skyrocket your career.
we'll help you out a little bit
So,
maybe. Play your
yeah,
music
yeah,
at the
well,
rodeos too. A couple bull riding events. Promote some Alberta Canadian country music.
okay, heck yeah. Hey, while we're talking about that,
Yeah.
how about touching in on Coulter Wall?
Yes. Yes. Coulter, when I saw the news, I sent him a text, just said checked in and said hello and anything we could do to help. Like It's I think of all of our health, our mental health has got to be top of the list, doesn't it, James?
Yeah, yeah. And I'll be the first to admit that, I mean, I've not done my part in taking care of my mental health sometimes. But to see a guy on that level like Coulter and being honest and clear about, a situation that he's going through and putting it out there saying like, hey, I'm just not right. Need to work on myself. Need to get myself back to however he wants to feel, and stopping his tour is, obviously financially probably a huge burden. um Along with everybody in his team that relies on those concerts and that income. And yeah, man, probably a decision that I think of Linus Ullmark with the Ottawa Senators, and when he stepped away here earlier in the year. These guys that are in the spotlight and their personal lives are just on Facebook or on social media, and anybody can comment on them. And um, yeah, it takes a strong person to be able to do that publicly, I think. So yeah, just we hope that Coulter, you know, gets back to feeling the way he wants to feel, and hopefully, he obviously has a bunch of support behind him and people willing to help him out. And yeah, I think we all, being March, and I was thinking about that this morning when I was feeding cows. I was just like, man, I'm sick of this winter.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
You got a lot of snow to deal with too.
yeah, like we're over it. And like I said, in personal life and stuff like that, it's very easy for people to look on the outside and be like, "Oh, that guy's doing so good," and blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? We all have our own battles. We all have our own things day to day that we battle with. So, um, yeah, I thought that was a pretty, especially as a man. We just don't see men do that publicly and say, "Hey, you know what? I'm not right. I need to get a little help." And like I said, I think that'll be a big thing for a lot of people. If you're not in the right mind space, you're not the only one going through it. So, what I mean? Reach out for some help.
Hmm.
We need her.
Need the help. And hey, same goes to you, James. Like I know for me this has not been the most fun winter. There's been a lot of fun this winter, but there's been a lot of peaks and valleys. And I've had to reach out to lots of people. I was on the phone last night with a buddy for like 35 minutes, almost 40 minutes, just talking and BSing. And like, I don't know. I talked to my mom yesterday and had a good chat with her. But like, yeah, it's been a fucking battle this winter. So
Oh, this
doing
winter
my best.
sucked. We like it is brutal. And yeah, like I said, I don't know why men, or why that stigma or whatever they say is over top of us. We're like, what I mean, talking about our feelings and how we feel is like a negative in everybody's aspect, and quote unquote makes you a pussy.
Hmm.
But I think it's starting to flip the other way, that we can. I think it's okay to say, hey, I'm not feeling right, or I'm not
I'm with you.
feeling good, or so. Yeah, that was big.
Everybody wants to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just got to
Oh,
ask for it.
absolutely. We do we have anything else for this show, James?
I think that's it. I think
Okay.
that's it.
Okay, well, once again from the Brahma Boot Studio, my name is Ted Stoven. He's James Foley. And enjoy the rest of the show with us this week, folks. Thanks for joining us. All right, from the Brahma Boot Studio in Calgary, Alberta, I'm Ted Stoven, and I'm here with well, he's the founder and owner of Saddleback Leather, and he's got a book that you can buy on Amazon called I want to get make sure I get this title just right because it's a fun one. They'll fight over it when you're dead. Please welcome to the show, Dave Munson. Thanks for making the time, Dave.
Hey, Ted, thanks for having me on. This is it's an honor to be on. Thanks.
Well, thanks for taking the time. We you're in the middle of constructing your warehouse right now, or warehouse or factory or office. I forget what the definition of it was, but you're making the damn thing out of leather.
Yeah, yeah. Each We have four 5,000 square foot buildings, and each one is about 480,000 pounds of leather. So we have 2 foot thick walls, and we baled it like you would bale hay. We bale leather. Um, so we baled a whole bunch of scrap leather, and we're just stacking leather now. It's great.
That's wild. And you guys, I forget now where the factory is, but is the factory in Leon, Mexico? Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, Central Mexico.
Yeah.
So we tried to get a factory going here in Fort Worth, Texas,
Hmm.
and it was a little too hard.
And
So
my,
we couldn't get the quality, couldn't get the consistency, we couldn't get it was just brutal. So we found that we get higher quality in Mexico. They just do better with leather. The you can't, it's not hard to find people who, are experts in that. So
the uh, the boot company I work with here, Brahma Boot, Canada West Shoe Company out of Winnipeg is the parent company, and the guy that I work with there, his name's Graham Morby, and he is in Leon, Mexico. I want to say once or twice a year for the leather show. You've probably run into him at that show, I'm assuming. I mean, maybe not. I don't know what it's called, but a lot of the
it's
leather
called
from,
NPeak. It's called
pardon?
NPeak. It's called NPeak.
NPeak. So,
ANPIC. Yeah.
okay. So Graham buys the leather for our boots that get made in Winnipeg, Manitoba from that show in Leon. And I don't know, I've talked to him last fall about going with him to that show to understand more about the leather and the ounces and the weights of the leather and different things, and just understanding maybe like because they do all the tanning there too, don't they?
Yeah, in Leon there are about 400 tanneries.
400
So
tanneries.
so some are small, some are bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Some will, there's a German tannery there. Yeah, there's the tannery of the year for North and South America with the leather working group. They're there. Yeah, no, it's you can get crap leather and you can get great leather there. So they do it all. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
When you mentioned the German leather place, is that like where they do the Horween leather? Am I mixed up on the German? Is Horween leather not a German product?
Yeah, so Horween is out of Chicago. It's a tannery in Chicago.
Okay.
And they're just mean to everyone I've talked to. Anyone who's
Oh,
tried to do business with them, it's like they try to be mean to you.
oh,
I don't
I
know
had a,
what it is. Maybe they're really nice people and they just had a real kind of like a bad customer service rep or something.
oh, really?
But yeah, so that's in Chicago.
I had an experience like that today. I'm about to start my pilot's license, and I did the medical this morning, and then went to the flying club that I'm doing the ground school at. And I walked in there and was like, "Yeah, I'm just looking to like try and figure out a couple things before I start ground school." And the lady I talked to was not at all interested in talking with me. She was just could not give a at all, did not care a little bit about why I was there that day. It was like she was just trying to get rid of me. So I uh I understand kind of maybe what you're saying on that.
Yeah, no, they're great tanneries. I went to a tannery in Poland. They have really
Poland.
nice leather. I went to a tannery in Rwanda, East Africa. Um, kind of crap leather. Morocco. I went to a tannery in Morocco, and it's the oldest tannery in the world, and it's really super cool. But every tannery has their like Italy. We're buying some leather for some stuff in Italy, and oh my gosh, it's amazing. So once you understand European cows and American cows and growth hormones and all that stuff, it starts making a difference. But generally, leather is just leather. You get some real, I mean, leather, even crap leather, it's really good, compared to any synthetic that you would get.
Yeah.
So, and someone was telling me over at Ralph Lauren at the Double RL place, they said they're finding the older ways of tanning leather are actually end up having a better result like 30, 40 years later than, they've gotten too good at tanning leather now.
Really?
So kind of interesting.
So I've read as much background on you as I could find as whatnot, and read the story on the website, and I kind of want to talk more leather with you right now though, just because we're on that I like leather, and if you know, this bench beside me here is full leather, and it costs way more, but it's real wood that this table that I'm on. My brother made the bench, and then I found a guy close by. I guess you can see the corner of it here, this bench right here. But like,
Yeah, yeah, sure do.
it's real full grain leather, and it's like if I can fill my house with wooden leather, the I like the smell of it, honestly, like the leather smell. Like my bed that I got made is real leather headboard, like and sideboards and whatnot. And like I know it costs more, but like I'm a fan of real stuff, I guess, Dave. So I haven't even seen any of your stuff yet that I know of for sure, but I looking at the website I can see it's real stuff and it's made by real people and it's and like your tagline on your kids are gonna fight over it when you're dead. Like it's a little bit unconventional. And the Forbes article that I read said one of your coaches said you shouldn't use that line, or one of your business advisors were like, that's a terrible idea. You can't put the negative on it. But I appreciate the like I was showing you my briefcase over here a second ago, and like, someday that thing will be my kids will fight over that someday, right?
Oh, absolutely. They're going to say, "Oh, Grandpa Ted, this used to be his."
Yeah.
You know, yeah, absolutely. So I had the idea that when when I designed my first bag, I thought, hey, what would it be like if I thought it'd be cool if my grandkids, after I was dead, just after the funeral, they're rummaging through my office and they find like a pocket watch and they find, like grandfather's study, right? And then one of them grabs the bag and says, "Oh, look, Grandpa's old bag. Here, I get this. This is mine." And then they start fighting over it. No, no, that's not fair. I want it. No, I want it. That's what I was after. So they'll fight over it when you're dead. It made sense for the book. And we had a federale sent to kill me for something, and I had just all kinds of stuff happened over the years and getting the business going. So but I thought the slogan, and yeah, and then my business advisor guy's like, no, Dave. No, 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 no. You need to speak in third person. You need to be professional. Don't use contractions in your writing, that kind of thing. And I was like, I don't think you know what you're talking about. So stuck with it.
The wasn't Larry though, I don't think. Larry Briggs, or was that
No,
him?
no, no, that
The
wasn't
former
Larry.
guy.
That was David Cheese, a friend of mine. And but he'd been in marketing for 20 years, had his master's degree in marketing. He'd marketed for all these big companies. And he later apologized. He said, "Hey, I had some friends look at your site and they're like, dude's got it right, man. That's really cool."
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah. So it worked out.
Well, and the one Forbes article I read was from 2017, but at that time, I think the number was like $15 million in annual sales just on your products. Like it sounded like that's a lot of online business to be doing for leather bags that are like $650 of a price point. I guess you don't have to sell as many to do that kind of revenue, but like I was impressed to see that it was mostly D2C on the business side of things. I'm assuming. Do you guys do any wholesale at all?
No, we don't do wholesale.
Not at
So
all. Everything's going
uh,
online.
yeah, just online. And um, you know, uh, the the sales, total sales, I'm kind of considering shrinking it down
Oh, really?
because there's this whole you gotta grow, you gotta grow, you gotta grow, you gotta grow. Um, why? Like I get to go wherever I want. I enjoy my life. I spend time with my wife and my kids, and we get to travel. And I've got, it's nice. And we get to be generous to people. We really enjoy the factory and all that. But as soon as you start growing, I mean, it's pretty complicated right now to run the business. But the more you grow, then you have to have more people and you have to do this and that. And now you have directors over managers over supervisors. And then you have, VP and da, 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 da. Why? Why complicate your life? And so, we're kind of wired to grow, but I don't know. I'm pretty happy. And so, like, why do I want to risk that happiness? So we actually cut a bunch of our SKUs a bunch of our, individual products. We're like, hey, so last year we cut quite a few, and it's easier. Just life's easier. So, kind of getting to the stage of why, I mean, money doesn't bring you happiness. The more money you have over a certain amount, it does. I heard like over 25,000 people get up to that point, people get really happy with more money. But generally, money doesn't make you happy. Um, what your life is filled with, what you focus on, that makes you happy. Other people make you happy. And so there's a false, particularly in the US, there's a false thing where people want to make as much money as they can in the US. Man, at the tannery in Italy, those guys, one of the guys, I was like, how long has he been cutting? He didn't speak English. How long has he been cutting leather? He was like, oh, 30 years. Okay, how about this guy? How long has he been inspecting leather? Oh, 25 years. That's how long have they been sewing shoes? Oh, that guy's been here 22. That guy here's been here 27, sewing shoes. But see, and they don't make that much, but they know what they've got. They don't have they don't have to worry about things, people stealing their things. They don't have to have all the headache of employees. They don't have to do all this stuff. They just do what's expected. They have spaghetti and meatballs, all the time, and and they're happy. So who am I to challenge someone's idea of happiness?
And so what makes you happy, Dave? You mentioned that, and you mentioned happiness, and have been I've had a lot of stuff go on in the last year and a half in my life, and there's probably been times that I haven't been happy. But I'm going through a point right now where I'm searching for this, and I think that I am happier right now, and I think I'm on a journey to being happier. And I like your line about why more, why grow, and I think I can grow personally, and the results will follow. But like, I've got a nice house, and I've got nice stuff, and I've got a good truck that runs, and I've got great friends, and I get to play hockey a couple times a week in the winter, and I get to golf in the summer, and like, life's good. Like I choose my happiness, and I choose my level of happiness. And it sounds like you're on a similar vein there, where you don't need more to be happy. You already are happy.
Yeah. Do you mind if I talk about a spiritual subject?
No, go
Because,
ahead.
all right. So, when I found out, so having purpose in life, that's a big one. And so, having vision in the book, I talk about how to come up with a vision for your life or your business or, that kind of thing. Really easy, but I didn't know about how to do it. So anyway, in the book, I write a lot about these things that I learned along the way, how to lead in business and stuff. But what I found out that when I found out, here we are at Christmas time, that when I found out that God loved me that much that He sent His Son to the earth, I'm like, wow, that's cool. Me, like little old me. And so the Creator of the whole universe, and then at Easter, Jesus died on the cross, paid for our sins so we wouldn't have to pay for them, so we could be in heaven with Him forever. And so I was like, wow, that's a pretty big deal. And it's historically, you can check it out. It's legit. But then they buried him and he rose again and he was dead. And so he did that so that I could be in heaven with him. So knowing that I know where I'm going when I die, that's nice. I wouldn't want to leave the wife and kids and everything, but that's really gives me a lot of peace. And all he wants us to do is just believe it. So if I were standing in front of God and he said, hey, Dave, why should I let you through these pearly gates here? Let's say I died today. I would just say, well, you told me your son paid for all my sins. I believed you. I was counting on it. I trusted you. That's all. I put my faith in you. And that has given me peace even in storms and a joy. And so when I came to truly believe that, and I told God, thank you, God, for paying for my sins. Like that gave me so much fulfillment in my life. And it took a little while, but it started building. But man, it's super cool. I've got a super cool life apart from all the travel and having the business and everything. It's really neat. And I have a lot of friends who have that same fulfillment in life. when they came to trust that that's true. And so, yeah, that's and so then we like to get the message out, just like I did with you just now, and to get that story. Jesus didn't say like, "Come join my religion." He just said, "Come walk with me." And so that is the most meaningful thing that I've ever done in my life. And so I just walk with him, and I mess up. I'm a hypocrite. I try not to be, but I am, you know. I'm not perfect. Um, but yeah, he's not looking for perfection. So anyway, that gave me a lot of fulfillment in my life to when he when he kind of took over my life. I said, "Hey, take over my life, would you?" Or whatever that looks like. And so it's actually not just like neutral. It's a ton of fun. It's really cool. So, and sucky things happen all the time. That doesn't, my life's not perfect or anything, but it's knowing that he's in charge is really fulfilling.
I've got to ask where. Well, I got to ask a couple things. Where were you born, and then how did you end up in Mexico? And from what I read, you were in Mexico teaching English, and you were living $100. It was $100 a month rent. There was no hot water, and I don't remember if that was in Juarez or if that was over by El Paso. I forget now. But isn't or is Juarez south of El Paso or Del Rio? I forget now.
Yeah, Juarez is just across the river from El Paso, Texas.
Okay. What was the other Mexican town that you were in?
Um, well,
You probably lived in a
Morelia,
lot of them.
I was in a whole bunch of them. Morelia, Michoacan, down south. So here's what happened. So I I went down to teach English to a bunch of to youth, just a poor youth thing. And so I volunteered. And while I was there, I thought, hmm, what kind of a bag would Indiana Jones carry? Because they had a lot of leather bags in the area. And so it was a couple hours from where our factory is now. So I looked around, couldn't find a bag like the one I had in my head. So I found a guy making bags in the market, leather bags. And I said, hey, if I sketched a bag out for you, do you think you could make it for me? So he made it, and everywhere I went with it, oh my gosh, people were like, "Where did you get that bag?" So I got back up to Portland after a year, Portland, Oregon. It's
Is that
up,
where you're from?
yeah, I'm from Oregon, yeah, and it's on the on the Pacific Ocean,
Yep.
and um, and yeah, I was getting shoulder tapped maybe 4 or 5 times a day. Hey, excuse me, sir, where'd you buy that bag? Where could I buy one of those? And so I went back down. I ended up living in Juarez. Um, for about 3 years with Blue, my black lab.
And
And
isn't Juarez like, don't they make a ton of boots in Juarez, or they make a ton of boots in El Paso? Like the Tony Lama and Justin, like for a long time, they were all El Paso made, but a lot of the folks that made the boots would come over from Juarez every day. Is that correct too?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, there you can either get for boots and shoes, you can get made in Mexico by Mexicans or made in America by Mexicans.
Hmm.
One of the two. So they are so excellent at making shoes and making boots, and it's just what they do. And but the majority of Justin and Tony Lama are now made in Leon,
Okay.
Guanajuato, where I am. But yeah, so Luke Casey has a factory in El Paso. Rocketown Boots is there. A lot of boots there in San Antonio and Fort Worth and Dallas. Lots of boots in Texas. But usually it's just Mexicans are making them.
Okay.
So yeah, they're really good at that.
Sorry for the sidebar. You were talking about living in Juarez with Blue.
Oh yeah, yeah. So Blue and I slept on the floor of a little $100 a month apartment for about 3 years, and then um, after about 3 years, I moved over to El Paso. So what was happening was um, I would have the bags made, and then um, they were by this father and son in Guanajuato in Leon, and they would send them up on the bus. I'd go to the bus station in Juarez. I'd pick them up and I'd take them to El Paso, and I would sell them on eBay. And that was until about 2006. And then I met my wife on MySpace. You remember MySpace? You familiar with that?
Suzanne, right?
Suzette. Yeah,
Suzette.
Suzette.
Okay, sorry.
When I
I
met her.
a little bit of MySpace in my time, not a lot.
So yeah. So when I met Suzette, I was like, "Hey, what's your name from? Where is it? What nationality?" She's like, "Oh, I was named after a French whore." I was like, "Oh, that's nice. I think we'll be just fine together." So, yeah, so I moved to San Antonio, married her just after a few months, and then we moved up to Fort Worth about 10 years ago. So we live out in
Okay.
the country. We have a bunch of land and horses all around, and it's pretty cool.
Right on. So when did things like I was reading a piece too where you hired some folks and you kind of got out of the away from the company and then you kind of got back in around like 2013, which I guess is already like 12 years ago now. But where tell me about that journey on the business side of things and the personal side of things because it sounds to me like you've had a pretty crazy travel bug since you were born. I don't know where that comes from or how you go from Portland to just decide to go live in Mexico and volunteer, teach. Like, it sounds pretty interesting. I also saw a video where you were walking with lions somewhere in Africa, and it was pretty wild that they were just you were walking behind them. So I don't know if they don't think you're food if you walk behind them. I don't know the animal psychology there, but I couldn't
Yeah.
believe you're just walking along with these dang lions over there.
Yeah, so here's the deal with that. Those were ceremonial lions
Okay.
for a chief, um, a big chief there in Zambia, and those are his lions. And so when they haven't, so they know lions really well there because they live with them. Like driving on the road, elephants will cross the road. You have to pull over and stop real quick and then back up. And I mean, they'll rip people, yeah, elephants will rip people in half. And so they can get pretty rough. But anyway, so these Chief Makuni, I think his name was, he had these lions, and I was like, "Can I walk with them?" And so, um, we had, you didn't see it in the video, but they're armed guards on both sides of me with guns, uh, like machine guns, full on machine guns. And, and then they gave me a stick and they said, if the lions turn around, I said, "What's the stick for?" They go, "If they turn around to bite you, stick it in his mouth and then they won't bite you." I was like, "Really?
Holy
Is that
smokes.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So that's kind of a handy one to know. So I went for it. My wife did it too. My daughter, she was 16. I got the whole bad parenting thing. You're a bad parent when I let my daughter do it, but they wouldn't have killed her. She maybe had a couple cool scars and stories for that. But yeah, so we had that. And no, we traveled. My kids, when by the time they turned 5, they had about 50 stamps in their passports.
Holy.
A lot of the same countries in Africa, Rwanda, Mexico. We started going to Rwanda in 2010. We were donating to a ministry there and helping poor kids. And my friend was the executive director in the U.S. for the. So he said, "Hey, why don't you come over and see where your money's going?" So we went over there and we went all over the place. I mean, we went to Tanzania and the Seychelles off the coast of Somalia. We went like all over the place. Barcelona, all this big trip. Then we got there to see the gorillas, walk with the gorilla trekking and all that. And then we got to the ministry and we're like, oh my gosh, all these little kids, like, holy cow. And so all these starving little kids. And so we got really involved in that and we've been going back and forth ever since. We've probably taken 400 or 500 people there now
Oh
to
wow.
Africa. And so when we're already over there, you go, well, let's go by Gabon on the in Central Africa, and since we're already over here, let's just fly over there and see the lowland gorillas and see the humpback whale migration and see these different things. Look for a black panther. And so whenever you see us doing cool stuff, is because they do cool stuff over there. So, but usually it's visiting our kids over there, the Rwandan kids that we have, that we've kind of sort of adopted, and now they're all getting married and stuff. It's pretty cool. So, but yeah, that's what we do. A lot of travel.
Well, and I noticed on the list New Zealand and I saw Canada, so I gotta ask since I'm in Calgary, like what are your Canadian travels? We talked about the Calgary Stampede, and I'm going to the grounds actually. I got a meeting there in 2 hours, so That's my next move is to go to a thing at the Stampede grounds. But where have you been in Canada?
Let's see. Montreal, yeah, it's just a stopover. It wasn't very long. Um, Ontario, um, went up to British Columbia, to V Vancouver several times, went up to Banff. No, I haven't been to Banff. That's right where you are
Yeah.
there. What's that town? Tofino up
Oh
on
yeah.
Island, way up
Beautiful.
there. Yeah, drove up there. Um, let's see, where else did I go in Canada? I think just a yeah, just generally British Columbia and Ontario.
Okay. I guess BC's not far on the Oregon side. You're only 6 hour drive probably from Portland.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We just drove up. I won tickets to a U2 concert one time.
Oh,
Went to the World's Fair when I was a kid, when I was
yeah.
in middle school. That was in Vancouver. Took the family up to Tofino. I've been several times to BC.
What did your parents do that got you traveling so early on in life?
My parents would do road trips. So we'd all pile in the car and go back and forth from Oregon to Texas or Oregon to New Mexico. I know you said you lived in Hobbs, but we would, yeah, go back and forth. We had family there, so we'd just always doing road trips everywhere. So that seemed like it gave me that bug to do that. So never left the country with that. The first mission trip was with my youth group from church and went to Tijuana, across from San Diego, and uh, and that was really cool. It kind of gave me the bug for Mexico. Took Spanish in high school, and so yeah, it just made sense to go to Mexico. But in 2005, before I was married, I thought, I've got all this money now. I'm selling all these bags. I'm going to go do photos around Europe. So I landed in Frankfurt and I just had a suitcase, a leather suitcase and leather backpack, leather briefcase. And I was like, hey, where's the train station? And they pointed me. I was like, where's the next train going? Oh, look, that one going to Prague. I'll go there. And then, oh, look, this one's going to, Krakow, Poland. Oh, this one's going to Budapest. Oh, that's good. And I just made my way around North Africa and Eastern Europe and got a lot of photos of the bags. And
Really?
yeah, and it doesn't cost very much. You just stay in youth hostels and it's super cool.
Hmm.
So youth hostel will be like $12 a night or $15 a night to stay in a youth hostel,
Yeah.
maybe 20. Um, and you meet all these, and travelers usually have money, so you're not going to find like vagabonds and thieves and stuff there. But it's really cool. And you could just get off the plane in Frankfurt and go east, and you'd have the time of your life. It's
Oh wow.
amazing.
Seems like a good idea, Dave.
It
It's
is
something
a
I've
good
never
idea.
done, but I'm at a point in my life where I'm ready to go on the next adventure. So
You know how
might
you
take
do
you
it?
up on it. Just do
And
it.
here,
Just book the ticket.
book a ticket, buy a
Yeah.
ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you read the book?
I haven't read the book yet.
Oh, so I say just buy a ticket.
Yeah.
That's what I
I
say. Just buy a ticket. So you can buy a ticket 1 year in advance, and the cheaper, the earlier you buy it.
yeah.
And so just buy it. Say, well, the Calgary Stampede will be gone. And say, okay, I have June through for like a month, June, July. Just buy a ticket.
For me it's more winter, Dave. I'm pretty booked up in the summer. I work a lot of events. In the summertime I'm
Oh,
the event producer and I do the scripting and I call the show and I play the music and bring the speakers and the audio system. So I'm on the rodeo trail. I'm just working on buying a horse trailer right now that I can stay in and haul my speakers in the back. And
hmm.
but I'm on the road from like the end of May till Labor Day doing shows
All right.
and flying around. But wintertime for me.
So then you'd
Wintertime.
want to go Southern Hemisphere.
Oh, that's a good point. I've already been to Brazil 4 times though, Dave. I was bull
Oh, you
riding
have?
down there. Yeah, I've been to Brazil. I haven't been to like Patagonia, Chile, Argentina, whatnot yet. But Australia, been to Australia. I haven't been to New Zealand, but my mom is married to a man from New Zealand, so maybe I got to do that in the winter next winter.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So
Yeah.
Italy is super cool. Have you been there?
Not yet, but I had a trip booked to Italy one time, but it never happened. We canceled. We had the ticket booked, but I had to cancel it. It didn't end up panning out. But I've been to
Yeah, dude.
Scotland and London or England as well. So looking at going to Ireland probably next spring, maybe this spring. I don't know. We're working on some of that stuff.
You're single?
At this point, yes. Today, yes.
All right. So
What are you waiting for,
so
Ted?
so you could go to Poland.
Poland. Well, and I just read um well, that might be wrong. I just read Dan Brown's latest book, like The Secret of Secrets. And isn't it it's based in Prague, but that's in Czechoslovakia, right?
Czech Republic, yeah,
The Czech Republic. Okay. Where Poland is a neighbor though of them, isn't it?
it is.
Yeah.
So,
Why
okay,
Poland?
because you're single.
Should I stop recording this part?
It's a beautiful country,
Okay.
very cheap,
Yep.
and they have a lot of leather there.
A lot of leather
Krakow,
in Poland.
Krakow, Krak, KR,
Krakow, isn't it?
yeah, Krakow is the leather capital there, kind of
Really?
Eastern Europe, really. And so there are tons of leather there. It's really cheap. They have great food.
Really?
It's fantastic, and it's just beautiful in every way. And
Really?
so, uh, and that's a really old town, um, and yeah, it's just really, really pretty. And Prague is also really, really pretty. So you could go in October, go at the end of September when you're off,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when I went. The weather's fantastic. It's not as crowded after Labor Day because all the college students go back to school.
Yeah.
Still crowded, but I tell you what, it's Krakow or Czech Republic and in Poland, and then Hungary, Budapest, it's just spectacular.
Really?
Yep, Eastern Europe, go for it.
And what was I gonna say? Um, I forget what I was gonna say now. But it's so easy to get around over there. I've heard. And like when we flew to London and took the train to Edinburgh, Scotland, like the train was my favorite part of the whole trip. I loved it to just sit and look out the window, like, because I drive a lot over here in North America, right? Like the other day I drove home from Las Vegas to Calgary and it was like 21 hours of driving. Where like over there, you just jump on the train, you don't have to drive. I can look out the window.
You know what? I would suggest renting a car.
Really?
Yep, because you go, this is a cool little town,
I want to
but the
stay there.
train goes right past it, or it doesn't even go through the
Oh.
town. It'll be off a mile or something like that.
Oh.
You go, oh my gosh, is this an antique shop in a 2,000-year-old town, 1,500-year-old town? And so it's just you get to stop and try to figure out how to say stuff, but driving is really cool.
Oh. Well,
So, I mean, I like to drive, so
I like to drive too. I was gonna say what I wanted to ask was the amount of English, like how I can get a couple phrase books and like with technology now with Google Translate, like I can probably quite easily get around by myself, I'm assuming, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yep. We had an imam living with us for about a year.
What is that?
He's a Muslim priest,
Okay.
and he had become a Christian. And he said, "Hey, I want to learn English and study the Bible." And so I said, because he said, "I've been, anyway." So he was kind of fresh off. Hey, sweetie. Hey, guys. I'm on a podcast right now. Hey, you want to meet my daughter and my son,
Hello.
Ted? His real name is William.
Nice to meet you.
That's
Good to
funny.
meet you guys.
Okay, you guys gotta be quiet. Sorry, guys. Sorry there.
No worries. I'm good.
And so the what was I saying?
Be Imam learning
Oh yeah.
English.
So yeah, we had him living here for about a year, and we just used Google Translate the whole time. I would speak it, and then it would speak it out loud to him. Dude, it's fantastic. You
Yeah.
can go, and I heard the new AirPods. You can just put them in, and as you're listening, it's automatically translating. If you have an iPhone,
Oh
probably
wow.
I'm sure it's the whatever Android too.
Yeah, I just gotta figure it out. That's really cool. You gotta get going soon, don't you, Dave? I don't want to hold you up too much longer here.
Yeah, I do need to get going here in just a little bit, but
Yeah. How long do we have?
another 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Okay. We got to get back to the business talk and the and leather and your journey. Um, I wrote down Larry Briggs because I thought that part of of your story was interesting, and I also really appreciated your journey of going back into the factory and asking everyone what they do, and then we got to talk about buy when really quick.
All right.
Those couple
Yeah.
like three different pieces. So wherever you want to go from there.
Yeah, so in 2013 I had made the mistake of I just hired the wrong guy and the FBI got involved.
Oh wow.
But I can't talk about it for legal reasons. But let's just say I took over the business and um and I was like, "Oh man, how do you run this business?" It was getting big. We were selling a ton of stuff. And so I hired a CEO coach and he'd done it for like 25 years and he was an old man and I was like, "Okay, he's the guy." So he just taught me how to run a business, how to run people, how to manage people. So what he said was, one of the things was, he said, great leaders ask great questions. And so a lot of the time I would go, Larry, what do I do here? What do I do here, there? How do I do this? What do I think about here? And he would go, well, he's like, that's a really good question. Man, I don't know. What do you think, Dave? And he would throw it back on me. And then I go, well, I think we should do A, B, and C. And he's like, man, I like the way you're thinking. Really, I knew what to do. It's just I didn't have the confidence in that area in my life. There are different areas of confidence you'd have, but that was one I didn't have the confidence to do those. But yet he would get the answer out of me. And he's like, I like the way you think, Dave. I think it's a great idea. By when can you do it? So that question, by when? Oh my gosh, that's a winner. Don't forget that question. So that's a great question. What do you think? Throw it back at people. And oh man, that's cool. By when do you think we could have that in place? Oh, because now it's their idea and they're going to be more enthused to do it instead of you telling them, hey, do this. Okay. And so when it's their idea, they're like, oh yeah, cool. And they want it to be successful. And then you go, okay, great. By when? I don't know. If they don't give you a date, you say, well, by when will you know? By when will you know? Have a date. Well, I've got to call the IT company. And you go, well, great. When are you going to call them? Okay, so you'll have an answer when? By when? Friday. Okay, so great. I'm looking forward to hearing by when we can have that done on Friday. And so always ask by when. And actually for your people, they usually have better ideas than you do. And so just asking them, man, that's a tough one. What do you think we should do? And then boom, they figure it out. So
And that sounds like a ownership piece where putting it back on the other person, they own it and it's probably a really empowering thing at times for that person.
it is. It is. And so then you're not a micromanager, you're not all these things. And honestly, they might say A, B, and C. And you say, oh, uh, B, why B? That's really cool, but why B? I'm just curious. So you ask another question, and they'll go, oh, because of these things. And you go, oh man, I hadn't thought of that. Have you considered D also? And they go, oh, that's good. And so I just asked three questions, and you end up getting better results than if you just tell them what to do. So yeah, that's great. Those are if you're leading anyone, man, ask questions. Prideful people don't. They want to tell everyone and show everyone that they know how to do everything.
Hmm.
But um, humble people are willing to say, "Hey, I don't know everything, and maybe you have a better idea than me." So humble people go a lot further than prideful people.
Uh, I've asked this question a couple times of different folks I've interviewed, but I'm really curious what you're reading right now, or if you're reading. I assume you're reading as a writer of a book, but I'm curious what you're reading right now.
So I always read the Bible. That's a given.
Hmm.
And then I'm reading. My dad wrote a book called First Work, It's on the book of Genesis. It's super interesting. And then I'm reading the Harvard Classics. So the Harvard Classics in the late 1800s, the professors of Harvard said, "Hey, the president said, let's put together the greatest works of all time. Socrates' writings that Plato wrote down, Marcus Aurelius, Benjamin Franklin's autobiography, you name it." So I just finished there are 52 books, um, and they're super boring. Oh my gosh. Some are really super
Terrible.
terrible, terrible. It's just like chewing cotton. And so I just made it through volume 11, which was or volume 10, sorry, I'm on 11. Volume 10 was The Wealth of Nations by Adam Smith. I just finished it the other day. And it's 565 pages, and it's all about economics. It's the book of on economics. My brother studied economics and in college, and he said, "Of course I've read that. Everyone reads that." So I read it. Um, it was dry bones all the way through. I have a notebook that I quotes down and stuff like that. Like Cicero, oh my gosh, Cicero was fantastic. Um, and on
Hmm.
friendship, he had a treatise on friendship and a treatise on old age. And since I'm getting old now, 54, now it's like, oh, it's meaningful. It's cool.
Hmm.
What he had to say. He had some really cool things. Um, Thomas Brown had some really cool things on. But anyway, the whole thing was really boring all the way through f page 520, and for the Wealth of Nations. He wrote it in the 1700s from England.
Oh, wow.
So, and he wrote these. He wrote, these are the necessities of life. He calls them the four necessities of life. He said candles, because they didn't have anything, you know. So
Yeah.
candles, salt, oh no, candles, salt, soap, and
Leather.
leather. I was like, bingo, baby. I'm gonna
Yeah.
put that on the wall at our new headquarters. It's one of the four necessities of life: salt, salt, candles, soap, and leather.
Yeah. Well, Kate, how do you put the bales together? I meant to ask that earlier on. How that like what's the form around the bales? Like is it like a wood structure or like are the bales wide enough and tall enough? Like by the time you get too tall, like there's got to be some structure or plaster or something. What's the other piece of the puzzle? Or is it just bales?
So they're leather bales, and they're 2 foot long. So 2 foot, the walls are 2 feet deep,
Yeah.
and and they're real flat, real square. We bale them ourselves, and we wrap them with wire, baling
Yeah.
wire, and then 6 wide and then 3 long, the wires, and they're each one's about 85 pounds or so.
Oh wow. Okay.
The bigger ones, we have two sizes, and so we interlock them, no columns. So you kind of bricklayer them.
Yeah.
So they're no more than two in a column, before you bricklayer. And so we do that. Then we wire them together, and we have steel columns. We like beams that go up every 12 feet or so.
Okay.
But we stack in between those, and then we wire them to the bales. We wire the wire together, and so they're all connected. And then on the outside of the building, we are putting a mesh, and then we're plastering. So
Okay.
use plaster so that the bales can breathe.
Yeah.
And then on the inside, we're leaving them bare leather.
Yeah. Dang. I
Yeah,
was wondering what's
pretty
going to
cool.
happen when it rains because wet leather is going to be interesting, but you got it packed so tightly, maybe the water can't even really get in there. I don't know.
Yeah, no water. Yeah, and so our well house, it's about 15 foot by 15 foot, 4 meters by 4 meters, something like that. We're gonna be doing that. If there's no windows, just the door. We're gonna just do that as solid leather bales,
Yeah.
like outside, inside. But it's 2 feet of thick leather,
Thick
and
leather. Yeah.
so the water's not gonna make it 2 feet in.
No.
Maybe it might, but we're gonna put like a bead of caulking between them, just
Yeah.
so they don't get through. And but we're gonna leave it raw leather on the outside too.
Oh, dang.
And and then if it ever starts looking green or something happens to it, starts fading, it starts looking dumpy, we'll plaster it.
Yeah. Dang. It's really neat. It's got to be a world first. I can't imagine anybody else doing leather, but it's like it's literally scrap leather that you can't really do much with. Like at the factory in Winnipeg, it goes in the garbage. Like it's a natural
Yep.
product. It probably breaks down in the dump, but like it's a use of a byproduct of the manufacturing process.
Yeah, yeah. We have just so in our town we don't have that much leather. We have our good share, good fair share, but we have to throw it away. We pay like 300 a month to throw it away.
Oh, geez.
They have to have heavier duty trucks to come pick up all the
Yeah,
weight.
yeah,
So we were paying 300 a month and other factories too. So now we just buy it from them and just so they don't, they're saving money. We
yeah,
pay pennies, pesos,
yeah,
nothing for it, and then we just compact it, and
yeah, and put it
yeah,
together.
it's super cool.
Well, okay, two quick things to finish. Well, how have the tariffs affected you coming from your Mexican factory into the US? How's that affected you lately?
Zero,
Okay, good.
nothing.
Okay.
We're part of the
NAFTA or Kuzma.
USMCA,
Okay.
uh, Mexico-Canada agreement.
Okay,
Yeah,
good. Um, and then lastly, everybody I ask everybody that comes on the show, I ask them one question, and that is what is their definition of cowboy shit?
that would be, you know what? I've been asked a lot of questions in my life, and that is the first one that no one's ever asked me that question. So that's a good question. I would say it is the fun-loving, hard-working, risk-taking lifestyle.
Sounds like you've done a lot of cowboy shit in your lifetime, Dave.
I've done a little bit.
Well, we never even talked about the bullfighting in Mexico. I forgot about that story. You got to get going, but that sounded like a wild story.
Yeah, so real quick, so I was down there teaching English, and someone invited me to a fundraiser for the university. So there were about 1,000 people in this bullfight arena, just a bull ring. And so I paid my ticket. We all went in, and they had 5 people on burros at first, with brooms, and they were playing, uh, you know, uh, donkey polo, burro polo, and everyone's laughing. And then the donkeys went away, and they opened the chute up, and this little baby bull came running out. He was probably 4 month old or something like that. And everyone's like, oh, they were laughing, and he was charging everyone. He was a Spanish bull, Spanish fighting bull. Everyone thought it was really cool. And he goes off to the side, and they had the capes and everything, and ole, everyone was laughing. And then the next bull came out, and he was like a middle school bull, like a junior bull. He was probably 9 months old or something like that, 10 months old. He didn't have horns, but everyone's like, whoa, he's bigger. And he came out charging, and it was ole, ole, ole. Everyone's laughing. And there were 5 guys out there with the cape. And then the next bull came out. And dude, it was a full-on Mexican fighting bull, Spanish fighting bull. I mean, but it had one curved horn and one straight horn. So that was kind of it never fought in a regular bullfight, like where they kill it and everything, because he was kind of had that defect of the straight horn. So, which also meant that he couldn't breed because they didn't want to breed on that genetic. So he had a real chip on his shoulder for the no breeding thing. He never got picked for anything. But dude, he came out and he was just a beast. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, that's for real. And one of the college students was like, dude, I am out. I am done. And Howard the coward was like, dude, let me out of here. So they were like, no, come on, everyone's trying to get him. He wouldn't do it. He's like, no way am I doing this. And there were these wooden planks that you stand behind. And they were trying to convince him he wouldn't do it. So they said, hey, we need a volunteer. And I was like, okay, when am I ever going to get a chance to fight a bull again? Ever in my whole life. Like even the Mexicans don't get a chance. So, dude, I was like straight up jumping, me, pick me, pick me.
And
I
you
was
were
like the
like
only
20
one.
at the time, right?
Yeah, I was 28,
28.
28,
Okay.
28 at the time. And I looked around like no one was raising their hand. And I was like, Oh, so they picked me, and I jumped down there, and they gave me the cape. They said I didn't speak much Spanish then, but they're like, okay, just whatever's shaking, so shake this, and he'll come at you. And so, but I didn't know. So he came, I was the first one he picked when we all kind of started approaching out to the middle. And he just came 0 to 60 in, man, no time. He was flying. And dude, the same thing. He went right by and everyone's like, Ole. And I was like, and then he turned right around and came right back. And I was like, but my leg was shaking. Like seriously, my leg was super shaking. So he went after that, not the cape on the other side.
Oh no.
Dude, he just grabbed, I just dropped the cape. I grabbed his head and just pushed off real hard. And then he came back around real quick. And by then, all these people had come in. All the other guys, the toreros, the matadors came in, and they helped me to get free. But he did the first time he came in, he was kicking dirt. He was slobbering,
Yeah,
kicking dirt. He was just like in the movies, just like with Bugs Bunny. And and then yeah, he came. It was really super cool. So I was pumping my fist for like a month after that.
that's really fun.
Yeah, that
Well,
was.
I really appreciate the time on this, Dave. Thanks for making it work today. And for those that maybe don't know about Dave's entire story, check out saddlebackleather.com. His book, They'll Fight Over It When You're Dead, is available on Amazon and the website, saddlebackleather.com as well. But he's Dave Munson, and it's got a heck of a story, and I appreciate you taking the time, sir.
Hey, Ted, I appreciate you having me on. It was good to visit with you.
Yeah, thanks for the visit. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you, sir.
All right, you too. Take care.